You literally just kicked the owner out of his own restaurant.
They're not allowed to touch him. YouTuber takes over cult restaurant. No, not this YouTuber, that YouTuber. And I'm just gonna point out kind of the elephant in the room that this video was posted 9 months ago, but when it came up in my homepage recently, I knew I had to react to it. So just watch and you'll see what I mean.
3 weeks undercover in a cult called the 12 Tribes, doing investigative journalism work with secret cameras. This cult owns a restaurant as a recruiting device called the Yellow Deli. And while I was working undercover, the first thing I discovered is that this restaurant doesn't pay their employees. They only use slave labor. And believe it or not, using slave labor is actually illegal.
Okay, yes. Everyone believes that slave labor is illegal. However, it didn't used to be. It wasn't until 1936 when Congress passed the Fair Labor Standards Act that there was any regulation about how much you had to pay people to work for you. In a past life, before I was on YouTube, I sued so many people for wage violations. Probably close to 2,000 companies, including a lot of restaurants.
So I was curious and asked these guys what loophole they use to get away with this.
Does this restaurant ever run into problems with minimum wage issues since no one gets paid here?
We're under an LLC, so everybody who works here is.
That's fascinating. Now, it doesn't protect a business to be an LLC. Like they still have to pay wages. However, the FLSA and the California Act and all of the state acts don't guarantee wages to people who have an ownership interest in the company that they're working for. Does that mean if I own a share of Apple stock, I could work for free at the Apple store? No. However, in a closely held business like an LLC, if you're one of the owners, you're not entitled to minimum wage. It's fascinating. And so this cult is saying, we'll just make you an owner and then we don't have to pay you. Devilish.
So I'm an owner since I'm working here? Wait, really?
Yeah, because basically that way nobody can just take the restaurant over. So you have to win like vote by half. So it keeps the Yellow Deli safe as far as that goes.
That's a cool loophole.
It actually is a cool loophole. I think the way they've designed it probably works. However, if the ownership interest that they have is illusory, like if it doesn't actually come with the benefits of ownership, a lawyer like Past Josh, someone who prosecuted wage cases, could probably take them to court and win money for the people who had worked there for free. Now, I'm also thinking, hey, this whole video is shot secretly in California. And California is a two-party state, meaning if Ben doesn't have consent of these people to film them, then it may be illegal what he's done, and they might be able to get a permanent order restraining him from the use of this video, including them being able to take back from him the original footage. But I mean, now that it's out on YouTube, that's not gonna happen.
Now it's time to use their cool loophole against them. So here's the plan. Get a large group of my friends to all get hired by this restaurant, making them actual legal owners of the Yellow Deli. When the next employee meeting happens, we do a group vote to fire all the other employees, which according to their own LLC, you need to win by a majority vote to pass any business decisions. Now that they're all fired, we're the only owners left, which means looks like we own the restaurant now.
Saying they want to help out.
Yeah, we definitely are gonna need that.
We got tables that we got gonna have to seat. Sandwich bar probably could
This
use.
seems like the hard part to
Get a
me,
crew going on dishes. Maybe
is
crew
getting your friends to get
What
hired
this restaurant didn't know is that my friends are some of the hardest workers out there. They were sweeping, mopping, cleaning the bathroom, doing dishes, setting tables, moving boxes from one place to put them in another place. They were doing lots and lots of work. The only downside is nobody got paid for the hard work they were doing. It's okay. They only didn't get paid because they're now official owners of this restaurant.
This is going way too well.
Wait, really?
Y'all are an answer to prayer. That's exactly what God does.
And somehow, even with them knowing who we were, all of my friends became legal owners of this restaurant and decided to participate in the next employee group meeting.
You're all right. You can have a seat.
Group meeting.
I think it's time that we have new changes, right? So no more racism, no more people hating Jews. We are a community that loves everybody, right?
This is our restaurant?
Yes, exactly. It is our restaurant. We're basically all owners, right? Yeah. Hoorah on 3, 1, 2, 3. Hoorah! All right, guys. Anyway, so now that we're all owners, I think that we should probably fire everyone here, right?
I think so.
It's a majority vote.
Yeah.
I feel like there's 15 of us. All in favor of us being owners and nobody else? Yeah. Say aye.
Aye.
Nobody could believe it, but my friends had just legally overthrown the Yellow Deli restaurant.
Okay, it is not as simple as that. While LLCs are like corporations where if you have an interest and you come to a meeting, you get to vote, there's been absolutely no clarity into the percentage that each person owns. For instance, if the main guy that runs the restaurant owns 60% of the restaurant and everyone who works there owns 1/10 of 1%, as a lawyer, it's not clear to me that just having 15 people voting is enough to rule the day. I just don't think that that's how it would be structured. What's more interesting is what happens legally if you fire someone who is an owner. Does that mean they're no longer an owner? It doesn't. If your ownership interest is real, then you are still an owner even if you stop working. That is a vested interest. It's an owned interest. It's yours. You could sell it. You could give it away. I mean, subject to the bylaws of the company, but it can't just be taken from you. You can't forfeit it. However, it could say that in the bylaws that in order to keep your ownership interest, you have to keep working there. But like Ben and Dan and these other people, they don't know this. I don't know this.
You guys should take off.
Do you know
I own the place.
You own the
Remember?
place?
We're all owners, remember?
Yeah, so let's do it. Owner. Yes.
This is the real world where it's survival of the fittest. Okay. All right? So if you want to challenge me, that's fine. We can do that.
Okay, the guy said I'm the real owner and I'm gonna beat you up, and that proves that I'm actually in charge. That is not how legal ownership of a business works.
It looks like you just got outvoted, so let's rebrand. Let's do it.
You're about to
Okay, that right there, that's a crime. The guy in the beard, the dude, he is not allowed to touch Ben or to shove him or to take the tarp out of his hand. A lot of people don't know this, but if someone is holding an object and you hit, pull, push, take that object, that the energy that you're transferring into that object, if it transfers into their body, that's a battery. That is an illegal touching that he's doing right now.
You can't be doing that, man. You cannot be doing that. You literally just kicked the owner out of his own restaurant.
They're
Yeah,
not
so as you
allowed
can see,
to touch him.
We had a customer at our restaurant basically just come up and start pushing us in. Yellow Deli.
Hey, are you workers here or are you just...
Oh, we're owners.
Yeah, we're owners of this restaurant, and we had a customer basically come up and start pushing us.
That's a little misleading. He shouldn't be telling the cop that the Nazi dude is a customer. He's actually also maybe an owner or a former owner, but he's definitely the one who's been in charge there for a while. And I think Ben would have better luck with the cops if he squared up that issue more directly and didn't try to kind of deceive him and call him a customer.
When is the last time you worked here?
The last time I worked?
Yes.
Like today?
Because we come here all the time. I've never seen you.
You've never seen me?
The person that I talk to, I see him.
Well, I'm always back in the kitchen, so that's why you don't see me normally.
So here's the
Yeah.
deal. They're saying you guys don't work here.
Oh,
Okay. So unless you can show me any type of documentation
Yeah, we can-
that you work here.
we can pull up the documentation and stuff.
This is fascinating to me. I don't think Ben has taken the correct approach. What he should have done with the cops, in my opinion, was say,
we're having a dispute about how this restaurant is to be managed, what's going to happen here, etc. And this guy's been shoving me.
that's a battery. He should be able to get that guy either cited or arrested if he took the correct approach. But here he's trying to pretend that he's not embroiled in some sort of weird ownership argument over the restaurant. And also it's super creepy to me that these cops eat at this cult restaurant so often that they're like, oh no, we know this other guy.
Here's where I'm coming from. Right?
We have all the legal
Let me speak.
documentation.
Let me speak.
Okay.
We come here all the time, right?
Uh-huh.
All the time.
Uh-huh.
This place is 24 hours. They're
Yeah.
really good to us here. We like coming here a lot.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen you.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen you.
Well, that's because I'm back in the kitchen. Yeah.
I've never seen you.
This cop's wrong. And I have video evidence to prove it. I mean, I have video evidence of all of us working. The cop's gonna side with the fired employees because the employees that we just fired used to give all police officers free food. Yeah, they're pretty much bribing the cops. That's not evidence that you just come here all the time. It should be evidence if I show you the proof, right?
The person that works here says you don't work here.
No, I'm the person that works here, and I'm saying that he doesn't work here.
I'm saying that he works here, and he's saying that you guys don't work here.
He just got fired tonight.
He didn't.
How do you know?
The worker says he doesn't want your group here.
Uh-huh. But we're owners of the restaurant, though.
You can't show me any proof that.
Yeah, I will. I can pull it up.
What you're talking about so far, you have no proof of what you're of anything.
Can I show you proof then?
No, because I'm not an attorney.
So how am I supposed to prove that I work here then if the only thing that you're willing to go off is your opinion and the evidence you keep asking for, you're not going to look at it? I mean, should I pull up the LLC?
No, I don't want to talk about the LLC.
So it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, cops, you asked for all the proof, and when I try and show it to you, you don't read it. So I'm just going to try and explain to you guys the proof as best as I can. Written in the LLC, in all the paperwork, which is verifiable online. You can look it up on your phone if you want. It says that everyone that works a shift here is considered an owner of the restaurant. So we have all worked here. In the LLC also it says group decisions are made on majority vote. So if you want to fire an employee, it has to be on majority vote. So we are all owners of the restaurant, and we outvoted to fire all of the current members. And we had a group meeting. It legally happened, and they have all been fired tonight. We did everything legally. We have documentation of everything that happened.
I don't care about that right now. Okay. We know we come here. A lot of the law enforcement officers come here, right? So we do have a working relationship with the people that do work here currently. All right. But you guys coming in here, the only thing you're gonna find yourself doing is getting arrested if they want prosecution for you guys.
Because you have a relationship with them?
Ouch! That is savage! I mean, look, this is a complicated situation. I don't think the cops are handling it well, but I don't think most cops would handle this properly. This is crazy. Ben, tell the cops you were battered and assaulted. Oh.
So you're gonna let them refuse to get fired by the owners of the restaurant because you have a relationship, a personal relationship?
If that's how you want to interpret it, yes.
We would just have to sue them. That's the only way to resolve this is for us to sue them.
Yes.
So to the people who think that they still own the Yellow Deli, I'm suing you guys because the rules are the rules.
This is what I was hoping would happen. This is great because you're not going to get cops to resolve this. All they want to do is kind of preserve the status quo and make sure that people don't hurt each other. But there's only 37 seconds left in the video. That's not enough time for a lawsuit. If the goal of the restaurant is to give ownership only so much as is necessary to not pay wages, I think most courts would say, nah, you thought you had a loophole, but I ain't buying it. You got to pay people their back wages. As far as I can tell, Reckless Ben has not released an update about his legal battle with the Yellow Deli, but it doesn't seem like he's keeping himself out of trouble. Now, drop your pro se opinion down below in the comments. Do you like Ben's strategy of taking ownership of the cult restaurant? What do you think of the cops' reactions to Ben's takeover? And if you were in Ben's position, what would you have done differently? Would you like me to react to more Reckless Ben videos? I'm willing to do it if that's what you want. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cool, Lupo.